Good evening, my dear country peoples and overseas friends and relations. Uh, I am Chandana Lekamge. Today is 20th September 2023. As you know, I have now at the moment I have completed four speeches, political and economic speeches. Have done those period. So there were so many people wish me, and they told me that you continue this political speech in the future time also. Now today I have list out that what I am going to say today, that these are the essential facts in this moment, because still going on economic crisis, as well as that government activities and president at the moment, what he has done those period, because only his main target is 2048 to become a development country. But unfortunately now I want to say that we are all people are in struggle now still. So first of all, I want to say that those that 2022 accounting period end of December 31st. So I would like to indicate some main lapses in the government preparing that financial statement, and what are the financial results those period, because people need to know about that. So many overseas friends and relations, they also need to know about that, what's going on inside the country, because government is not indicated anything about that inside of the taken by the financial decisions and fiscal policies and financial regulations changing and everything at the moment. Now I took that 2022 end of the December 31st, whole the year. This is the audit report issued by the Auditor General Department that they have published at the moment. So this is the audit report and accounting final accounts. Final accounts means income statement, income and expenditure statement, cash flow statement, and financial position, balance sheet. So those are the financial results of the government, what they have done those period, that first of all 1st January to December 31st. Actually now these are the main point outs that lapses, and what are the difficulties met that government when they rule in that during that period. First one is, now according to the financial statement, government tax revenue has increased 453 billion against the 2021. Now we need to compare that one now. Now 2022 years, normally that everybody know about, no reaction, no government awaiting that IMF loan that time, right? Not functioning, any budget proposals and whatever not functioning because no money. They say we'll have to wait. Now these day after that financial results of the government through the financial ministry, finance ministry, and 2000 actual revenue was 1,751 billion, but taxes on international trade has decreased 8 billion. You know what is the reason for decreased tax, international tax? You know that import restriction, no imports, because they are considered about the, according to the IMF instruction what they have given, that they need trade deficit. They always consider about the reduce the trade deficit. But unfortunately, our financial policies in the government and finance minister and two state ministers, they have decided to stop the imports and imports restriction. After that, what will happen to our custom duties income? Very decrease. That is the actual happened those period. So these are the always I am saying that everything link. That if you have a sufficient knowledge about the accounting and economic side, they must think about that. One, not only the one side. We can't fulfill that IMF conditions or trade deficit. If we need to reduce the trade deficit, we need to increase the exports, right? we need to increase the export. Unfortunately, that 2023 6 month, first 6 month, 10% decline in the exports. So that's why I am telling that. Next one is that according to the income tax classification, dividend tax and remittance tax also had been reduced materiality figures, right? Next one is withholding tax also. Interest income has drastically decreased 2022. Everything decreased, right? Import tax and economic service charge reduced 15 billion. Value added tax also, domestic goods and services has reduced 4 billion, right? Motor vehicle duty also decreased 4 billion because at the moment we already stopped that imports that vehicle, right? No income came from. Now what they have decided from next year they are going to introduce wealth tax and inheritance tax. That is a people's pocket. Always they are considering about the seeing at the people's pocket. Try to get the increase the income. No other alternatives. Please kind of request to President, if you are going to, if you are listening to this, my political analysis, please examine this. What's going on? This government always trying to eat poor people's money, right? These all are the should take the responsibility. Finance minister, two state ministers, and under the president's finance minister and governor, who are the responsible everything because they are taking all the financial monetary policies they are introducing, right? Financial decisions, right? Everything decisions are poor now. The government actually I want to say government has failed to develop this country and they can't settle this economic crisis, never at the moment. They are unable to solve these poor people's problems and financial problems, right? Next one, we are going to government expenditures, right? Government expenditure, first of all, overtime and holiday payments of government staff has been increased 5 billion. Expenses are high, income step by decrease, right? This is the government account, right? You try to understand our dear country peoples and overseas as well as this is the actual happen inside the government, right? Salaries and wages increase 51 billion. I don't know why. Some because during that under that last year, I think we didn't recruit new appointments. But unfortunately, salary has increased. I don't know who salaries are increased those periods. So we'll have to analyze this salary account, right? Stationery and office requisites has been increased 4 billion, right? Vehicle maintaining in the government has been increased 4 billion during the year. Just now I want to point out one thing, why the maintenance and vehicle expenses, especially for ministries, right? This is the article, paper article last week. It has mentioned that despite economic crisis, minister seeks more vehicles. That is the policies and ambitions of the state minister in the government, right? That the presidential secretary is a contrary over the repeated request by the different ministries for official vehicles from its vehicle pool. The latest request came from the state minister this week with a letter sent by the ministry secretary request by the vehicle to temporary basis for the ministry state minister as the official vehicle has been sent for urgent repairs, right? They are considering about the temporary vehicles. I don't know purchasing or buying from abroad or I don't know, but they have a problem, that vehicle problem. Because I am suggest if there is a underpaired that vehicle, they can use that. There are so many security because they need the security, no? Because they need to go to parliament, no? With security. If they need the police station, it's everything available. So they can go there, no problem, no harm, right? These are the decisions taken by these days, not the poor people's they are not people's grievances. They are not listening. They need like this, sir. That is the selfish ministries, right? In the government, right? You must understand that our country people. You think now intelligent, right? Intelligent, right? This is very essential point at the moment, right? Like this minister also in the parliament, ministers. Next one is I want to indicate that all the 2020 economic progress. One is GDP, 24,148 billion. That means when we are converted 73 billion. You know that 2019, those period before the COVID came, economic crisis, our GDP gone up to 88 billion US dollars. So 10 billion reduced. No? Why can't we increase this one, right? GDP. These are very essential. Debt repayments, our country development, that the main point of the GDP, right? Per capita income 3,479, very less, right? You compare that those other small countries, Middle East, even Qatar, right? 19,000 US dollars, right? What happened to our country? And GDP, that growth rate, that is continuously GDP increasing, that is GDP growth rate now 9% minus 2022. Agriculture sector 7.5, industry 27.5, minus 6.6, agriculture, industry minus 1.6, and services minus 2, altogether 9% minus economic growth. How we are going to pay the free payments and everything, like that before 2019 indicated that our economic growth is 6%. Why can't we now accelerate this economic growth? No local production, no exports, right? Not functioning. Why asking? No money. Reason. And total revenue is 2013 billion, expenditures are 4,700. That is gone already. Expenses are very high, government. The difference is budget deficit is 7,580. Bankrupt government, right? These are the documentary evidence for showing, right? Government says no bankrupt. We are running now. The government is running. I know, we know, but per one day, right? 3.4 billion financing, right? That means income over expenditure, right? Always financing, getting debt. Huh? Next one, I want to say that these are the essential so that our village and country peoples, because they don't know inside what the government some taking some decision. One is that IMF. We know that we got one of loan March 27th, I think, right? IMF first installment. So we are asking from that what are the expenses have done from that IMF loan. So President also put that committee to what are the expenses done from those period. People want to know, but not functioning. I don't know, right? Forget everything, neglect. President is neglect everything, hiding and neglect. Yeah? Next one is I am asking from government and president, are you fulfilled that IMF conditions at the moment? Because when we are getting from next installment, they need to examine surely that IMF conditions. I want to remind again that what are the IMF conditions. Mainly they have point out to obtain that next installment, right? First one is economic stability, right? That is the IMF first condition. Next one is central bank reserves. At the moment, are there sufficient reserves? No. 3.9 billion last month. Now it became to 3.6 now. It's not a materiality amount. You know that Bangladesh, over 30 billion reserve cash. Third country from South Asia. Next one is finance stability and CPC, Lanka, RDA, new balance sheets already prepared. Just can you tell to our people it's already finished? Government finance should be proper control. Is it okay? No problem. If it is fulfill this one, IMF will consider next installment. Until we have to stay no money, right? Right. Now these are the next main factors during this period. One is that at the moment, according to the credit analyzation in the world, fixed rating, right? We are in another grade. We are in down, right? We are going to down, not up, right? Downgrade, because you know what the reason? We didn't do the repayments during this year. Now you know 2023 whole the year we have debt payment amount is 2,360 million US dollars. We'll have to pay that as a debt repayment. At the moment, always delay. We didn't pay those periods sufficient materiality amount, right? That is a background company. Why didn't pay that? Debt repayment, that is essential, no. Right? Otherwise they are put again blacklist. Next one is that you know that those period there was a big drought came, right? What had happened that those period 60,000 acres have been destroyed by the drought season in paddy cultivation that adversely affect that 55 farmers already met in struggle, right? The responsible government they should give the compensation for them. Otherwise, how we are going to do next season, right? They don't have money, right? Poor people, poor farmers, right? Now, yesterday I heard that the government has everything calculation and estimated for that give the compensation. But according to that calculation, earlier I saw that 40,000 they supposed to give to farmers, 45,000. So I asked about the Anuradhapur farmer. He told me that 1 acre they have expenses normally that around 120,000, right? Incurred the cost. That is the actual cost. So the government is going to pay that only 45,000. I don't know. But responsible government, right? They must look after that farmers, poor farmers, right? That's why the reason is not strong economic, right? If you have a strong economic, as soon as the government should pay, right? Next one is now that paddy. In the future time, there's a big shortage. It will come sure about that because 24,000 metric tons 2.4 million metric tons for annual requirement of the country, that paddy. But unfortunately, at the moment, not sufficient harvest came from that during that drought period, right? Now, what has happened that there will be a shortage. Next one, I want to say that 2023 economic progress, right? GDP growth rate is only 2%. I am asking from the president and government, is it enough? 2% this 6 months, right? Is it enough? Still going on minus now 9% minus 2022 end of the December. Now only 2 reduced. Now 7% minus economic growth. You know that 2020, 2019 there was a economic growth rate is 6%, right? You take that for example, Japan and Hiroshima, Nagasaki, right? Destroyed that all the country, right? As soon as within short period they took a development as a development country. Why? Efficiency, right? Honest, accountability, right? Talent, everything they have, right? What happened to our country, our controllers, president, government? Eh? Lazy. They are awaiting IMF law. Now 2023, that only our GDP 73 billion. 2019 we got that 88 billion US dollars. 10 billion reduced at the moment GDP. Every GDP we are paying debt repayments. That's why now at the moment neglect that debt repayments. This is the reason. Reduce GDP, right? 100 into 20 percentage. GDP is 100, debt is 120. Then at the moment, Sri Lankan one country people have debt has debt that 1.2 million, right? 12 lakhs debt for external, right? One people. Very terrible situation, right? Our total debt indicated that as at June 86.35 billion, right? 86 billion, the overseas and local domestic debt, right? And other one is main indicated that population below poverty line is 11.3 population, and labor force contribution 49%. See, over 500,000 job losses are in the country at the moment. President, no reactions. Silent, silent president. At the moment, CBU reserves are 3.6. Last month 3.9. Now reduced 3.6. Now next one is Assasuma program, right? What has happened that Assasuma program has given for 800,000, right? Normally Samurdhi also 1.6 million, but only 8 lakhs they have given for allowance for Assasuma. But I want to know that World Bank has given this, right? 8. So what is the amount has been given? But at the moment they have allocated, they have expenses of 206 billion, right? So I thought that that is not an actual figure. Can you tell that government and please? I am asking relevant ministries how much received from World Bank and how much actual expense at the moment we need, right? And IMF loan also they have already put the committee. We need that. What are the expenses incurred and what they have done those period that IMF loan, right? Next one is a health ministry. You know that according to the low quality medicines, right? Using from our poor peoples, 21 people killed, also dead, right? At the moment, that is very terrible situation, right? Our oppositions have brought that against the health minister. I don't know. He says that he won that one. He says I am not relevant. These are not my faults, right? Now I am asking. So normally, when you recruit as a finance minister, front of the president, what they say, we are look after my minister. I am look after everything. Finance minister secretary, because they are tender calls are doing. You don't have a duties that list out under that your duty. You are not involved into that tenders, and because that illegal supplies is here, right? Illegal supplies, and inside they are taking commissions. I don't know, that is not proof. I can't prove that is actual happen. That you must involve that health minister, right? He has a duty. President also, when he became to president, he also telling that I am look after our country people. Now 21 dead. He also take a responsibility this one, right? He must look after country people. I'm asking from president. That also your fault also this one. Why don't you remove that health minister? You have powers now, executive powers now. Uh, Finally, I want to say that I am not going to tell. One is last week that mm, there's a shortage in central bank. That is very good. I appreciate to central bank governor. They have introduced a new central bank act amendment, and it's coming from next Friday. It has mentioned that restriction, that limit that printing money, right? You know that during those period, last period, 3 trillion printed by the central bank for government purposes, right? You know what had happened there? That was directly came that inflation is very high. 73% went up to inflation. Poor policies, right? Government. Only they are taking loans, printing money, and expenses, right? So many unnecessary expenses, right? Those period. 3 trillion. Every year, 600 billion printed money, right? Now, this is a good act. Now, government can't do, government is a monopoly now. Always give the instruction to central bank to print the money for unnecessary expenses. Huh? Now, okay. Now, there is a, now government is searching that another 450 billion for need for recurrent expenditures in the coming month and 2 months, right? There is a shortage. Now, this is the bankrupt government, right? They don't have money at the moment. They are waiting next installment. I am asking that IMF month of September. They says that we can get from that next installment. Okay, now finally, I am not going to talk so much about that. These are the main essential factors for people want to know about this inside the government now. I am saying that these the very government has failed to solve the economic problems, economic crisis, people's grievances. They didn't listen. They didn't increase the people's incomes. Last my political analysis, I said that every income in the Sri Lanka should increase, right? That also not done by the yet government, right? Now I'm going to discuss with president. If he neglect this my proposals and whatever, I'm going to talk with him. If he neglect, so in the all the country, I'm going to start against the government to defeat the government, right? Now, finally, I want to say I already selected one of party in the opposition, famous party. So before at the moment, I am working in private sector organization. Anyhow, I am going. I supposed to dedicate my a few time for political. According to the people says that you also involved. We need you. Then I decided to select the party. Now I consider about like this one. I am not a, corruption. I don't like to come down my goodwill after that when we become a politician. I don't like that. Anyhow, that I need to give some service at the moment because this is the corruption government. They because our future generation, we also daughters and sons. You also daughters and sons. We need to look after them in the future time. One day we are debt for 3.4 billion, right? For one day at the that every day add to that total debt that we need to pay. At the moment the government has neglected that repayments, loan repayments, right? They have failed to run this properly, this financial side, right? Now, one is be honest and no corruption party. Accountability, so I need that for country. Accountability is a good party, and manifesto. I am considering about that party in the future. Next time, I am going to tell that what is the party I am going to selected party, and now I am going to stop that. Have a nice day. Okay.